Hey there, divers! Let's go blow some bubbles on the Yukon. Me and Diver N are going to be rocking some scooters on this first dive. Here we are, dropping down about 70 feet to the ship. Once we get set up, we're going to drop our strobe onto the down line and take a nice couple of laps to check out the old girl. Here we are, passing by the bridge. Check out those lovely gorgonians growing like a nice little fuzzy patch of bushes on top. Today was a nice green smungy day, not quite as thick or as dark as the last time I'd been on the boat, but still nice and minty green. Today we're diving off of the Marissa dive boat out of Mission Bay. If you'd like to learn more about diving the Marissa, you can watch my video here. I'll tell you everything you need to know about parking, getting ready, getting on the boat, and what to expect as far as accommodations and the overall experience. While the main bow guns are pretty cool, I really like these stern guns a lot. I think they're a very cool shape, and you can see all of our strobes on the down line just above it. I think just about every team brought a strobe today, so we really turned that line into a Christmas tree. Here we're whizzing past the propellers. I like to take a little dip down here and look up at the big shafts overhead. Cuts a really cool silhouette against the sunlight above. Here we are passing by the bow of the boat. Of course, the Yukon is on its side, but when it initially went down, it went bow first, and it, as you can imagine, just smashed into the ocean floor, and the weight of that whole ship behind it bent it into that funny angle. I like to squeeze in here as tight as possible and check out that weird intersection of boat and seafloor. It's neat to be under such a flying wing of metal overhead. We're going to take another quick lap around the boat before we go up a little bit higher, so I'm just going to play this and fast forward for you. Right here, we're rocking past all of that collapsed superstructure. As the boats turn to rust, a lot of the taller structures that aren't supported by the seafloor have started to just fall off. On this second pass by the turbines, I'm gonna get a little cocky and try and fit through the keyhole here. Oof, not my cleanest pass through, but no damage done. I think the boat will be okay. Passing by the stern downline with all of our strobes on it here, we're gonna take a much easier swim through with this lifeboat davit. And then we're gonna turn around and head back toward the bridge. Looks like someone might have changed out the Canadian flag recently, but the stars and stripes are looking a little bit grungy. I really like this shot, swinging past the main bow guns. Love those red gorgonians on top. So cool, very thick. And here we're swinging by the top of the bow, passing by that iconic dolphin cutout in the nose. I don't know who decided to make dolphins the cutouts, but they're a pain in the ass to try and swim through on your entry. Making our way back to that strobe-covered down line over this lifeboat davit, ran into this big cloud of blacksmiths. Love seeing these big schools of fish over top of the wreck. On clearer days, you can see that there's way, way more fish than are visible here that are just hanging out up there in the water column. That's it for dive 1. Let's eat some snacks and watch this beautiful glassy water. We managed to spot a little shark cruising by during this surface interval. I wasn't able to grab the camera in time. Not sure what species it was either. Starting dive 2, we're going to leave the scooters behind on this one and focus on penetration. We're going to start our penetration on this dive entering through the stern, the large cutout in the back. As you'll be able to see in these clips, the Yukon is Swiss cheese. There's holes everywhere. They really tried to make it as friendly for divers as possible before sinking. That said, it's still a lot of work getting through this ship. You're constantly managing your buoyancy as closely as possible. Since the ship is rolled over on its side, most of the passageways through it are short, wide holes that aren't super easy to get through, especially in back mount. And if you are going to enter the ship, don't be a scrub like me and leave your camera lanyard dangling beneath you. Man, that lanyard really is going to drive me crazy as I'm going through this video. I can't believe how long it took me to clip it back up. This here is one of the more complex little directional changes on the passageway that we normally take through the ship. You've got to make a left-hand turn, go down, and then make an immediate right through this passage. Long divers, especially with long fins, might find it to be a little bit trouble. And this here is the closest thing you'll get to a restriction in the ship. Thankfully, that nice, soft, sandy floor means you probably wouldn't be stuck too bad, but it's definitely big enough even for a lanky boy like myself and a set of twins to go through. If it wasn't for the lanyard dragging through the mud, I'd think that was a pretty good swim through. As is typical when we enter through the stern, I've made a wrong turn somewhere. Thankfully there's tons of exits, so we're just going to bail out of this opening here and find another way to come back in to finish off our stern to bow pass through the ship. I had never been through this hole before, but it was just behind the bridge on the very bottom of the ship. Turning around to take a couple pictures of Diver N here. He did real good. This was his first time inside the wreck. I'd give him a little fist bump. Bam. Good work, buddy. Making our way to the back side of the bridge. We're going to go in through this large opening here, make our way back down into the wreck. It's pretty incredible how many times I looked down right past that lanyard without seeing it, till right now. I had never been through this particular room before, but it makes you go down to the floor here and then immediately up to the ceiling in the next room in the top right corner there. Going through that passageway, we get into the deck just below the main bow guns. You can see that big circular object there. That's the rotary that the gun spins in. It's a pretty neat bit of tech. I'd never seen it before. Definitely gonna have to come back to this room to check that out again. I'm not sure exactly what this room here is. It looks like that pipe coming out of the wall on the left interfaced with that round piece of machinery on the bottom right. I have no idea what was going on, but it's kind of neat. Now through this interesting looking space, we're going to be in the bow compartment where those two dolphin cutouts lead into the ship. For all of our sake, I'll cut out the bit where I ping-pong my way through that dolphin cutout. Instead, I'll just treat you to a snail's eye view of that bow. Here I'm trying to direct diver N into a nice position so I can take some classy shots of this cannon. And with that, the diving is done. Thanks for coming along. I'll see you next time. Safe diving and happy bubbles.